Hi guys, Greg McCoy here with you for another equipment spotlight video from Hidden Gym. Today we are looking at the Power Squat Pro XT from Rogers Athletic. This machine is in their pendulum strength line and is a hugely popular piece in the football and athletic weight rooms. You'll find this piece in weight rooms of NFL teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints, and top tier universities like Michigan and Texas A&M. I was originally introduced to this machine by our good friend and industry expert, Brett Contreras, at his Glute Lab in San Diego. If Brett's paying attention to something, I usually take notice. When it came time to put one of these in Hidden Gym, many of us here had used the Squat Pro version, but not the XT. So I went to Denver to legendary Armrest Pro Gym, where they have the XT version of this piece, to really put in a hard session and see which version we wanted here at Hidden Gym. So let's talk about this machine, what makes it so good, and how to use it. One of the best things about this machine is it emulates a barbell squat better than any other machine on the market. But unlike a barbell squat, it requires very little skill to perform safely. So let's start with the patented floating yoke. One of the first advantages of this is it takes away limitations in shoulder mobility. So much like a safety squat or a hat-filled squat, your hands are gonna be in front of you. So if you've got a big guy trying to squat, or has maybe you have an injury where shoulder mobility is a limitation, that's not gonna be a problem when you use this machine. And also because of its adjustability, this shoulder pad is gonna react to you as you find a squat path in a way that a barbell is fixed. So it's really gonna help you feel comfortable throughout the whole movement. The padding here is soft, but not too soft, so you're not gonna feel the machine pressing down on you, but it is still supportive. And then it's got a very easy adjustment. If you've got athletes or clients of different size, they can set this to fit in a way that's comfortable. All right, next up, let's look at the rack height and re-racking mechanism. So you've got a very simple block here that allows you to adjust the machine's starting height. Then to rack and unrack, you've got these very simple sliding pins that allow you to rack and unrack the weight. All right, one of the more innovative uses of this is for coaching and personal training, or standardizing set depth if you're working out yourself. So again, you've got these 5 adjustments. It's very easy to move them. You won't need your clients to guess on depth. They'll actually be able to touch something. So you can think about the coaching applications. If you've got a large group squatting, you're able to kind of listen as opposed to get to the side and watch to make sure the hip crease and the knee are in the right spot. So it's also great, you know, for yourself, if you're working out by yourself and you need to know if you're hitting depth, you know, if you've got these settings, you're actually gonna feel the bottom of the motion or not. Which leads us into the third application, which would be intensity. So you can get creative with this. Say that you wanted to do full range of motion squats, and then you or a training partner could bump the safeties up, and then you're only working the top end of the squat where you still got some power left. So you can, you know, really toy with this, and it's in a safer setting than a barbell, you know, where you're worried about failing at the highest intensities. You can push yourself to another degree, knowing that you're safe within the machine. If everything we haven't talked about so far wasn't enough for a great squat machine, let's talk about what puts this machine into an absolute league of its own, and that will be the 3 weight loading pegs here. This top peg is what we're going to talk about first. So this is actually what differentiates the XT version from the kind of standard version that we had both had a little more experience with. So this beast will hold up to 1,500 pounds. So there's really no limitation on the type of athlete that can train with this. But when we're talking about the top peg, this really takes away the leverage of the machine. If you look at it from the side, this is going to be in the same plane as it would in a barbell. So you're kind of losing the advantages of the machine here, which means it's going to be the heaviest and the most true to squat weight. So this will be the hardest peg for you guys that are using this version. Or if you got the non-XT versions of this machine, you're gonna have these 2, which we'll explain next. Okay, on to the middle peg. This is gonna make the movement the hardest at the bottom of the movement, or the hole as we like to call it. So if you like to think more in terms of body parts and not so much in range of motion, then you can think about this as loading the glutes and hamstrings more. So when you're at the bottom of the squat, it's actually gonna be the heaviest, and it's gonna get lighter as you come up. Now onto the bottom peg. This is gonna be the heaviest at the top of the movement. So actually, as you descend into the squat, the load is actually going to get lighter. So this is much like squatting with bands or chains. Lots of advantages here. Maybe if you're nursing an injury in the knees or the hips, this weight peg is going to feel better because it's going to get lighter as you get, deeper into the squat. But it's also great for performance because as you gain a mechanical advantage on the movement, as in you're in a stronger position, the weight is getting heavier, so it should feel pretty even throughout the whole squat. If you like to think in terms of body parts, you could think about this peg being more of a quad emphasis. So when you're in the bottom of the squat, you got the glutes and hamstrings loaded a bit more. As you come up, it's going to be more quad bias. So you could think about this bottom peg focusing more on the quads. So there are endless possibilities on how you can combine these pegs to customize the workout to you or to your client. So you can load all on one. For instance, if you really wanted to focus on one part of the range of motion, or you could start to combine 2 or even 3 of these based on what you're setting up for. So if you really wanted it, on the heaviest setting with a little bit of bias towards the top, you'd load most of it here and a little bit there. But you can get creative now that you know what's what on how you load these based on your goals. So that's a run through on the features and really what makes this a great squat machine. But one thing worth mentioning is this machine doesn't have to be used for just squats. It is really good for lunges and good mornings. Same thing, it's going to be a lot more stable, there's less balance involved, and the way that the floating yoke responds to your body as you move, this is a really comfortable way to do lunges and good mornings. All right, so that's a full tour and look at the Power Squat Pro XT from Rogers Athletic. When you're ready to give this machine a try, come to our newest hidden gym location in Richardson, Texas. Give it a shot, load it up, let us know what you think. We'll see you in the gym.